soul songs that I've become infatuated with.
What's that, Bill?
King George singing
Oh.
can't judge nobody.
I'm not familiar.
Huh?
Oh, come on, Ed. Come on, man.
I'm not. I'm not familiar, man. What?
Bill, these little young bucks, they don't know nothing, do they?
I'm not familiar.
With they got Southern Soul, 808 Fresh was with Boots on the Ground was supposed to bring it back, but he talks about King George, a guy from down there, and he got a song "Can't Judge Nobody." I sent to my granddaughter a song called "Girl You Got It," and then I listened to Mike Clark Jr. singing "Worry You," which is a song that I think I kind of like, and the guy out of Memphis named Anthony Q got a song "Walk That Walk," but it's Southern Soul, man. These dudes. It's another song that I like by King George called "Grown Man."
You're telling your age, Bill.
Huh?
You're telling your age.
Well, man, actually, this is young people singing this down south, man. It's called Southern Soul. You ain't never.
Yeah, I it's one of my YouTube things. YouTube music. I put in Southern Soul to just listen to it.
Yeah, man. Uh, I I got onto it because I heard Boots on the Ground, which I really like.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Bill? What's that preacher's name? I guess he's a preacher. Jeez, I'm gonna have to find it. I'll have to send it to you.
Okay. But man, I just started listening to it. Actually, just to cheer myself up a little bit.
Man, it's bad news when the blues cheer you up, ain't it?
Well, they never broke the spirit of our ancestors. What kept us going was music. We found some way to make it, but
Yeah. Bobby Jones and Joe Brody. How y'all doing, man?
I'm good, brother.
Doing good, Joe.
Yeah, I might have to change my name though.
What's up, Bobby?
I had to change my name to Craig.
Craig.
Yeah, I got fired on my day off.
Oh man, what do you got fired?
Nah, I got a new assignment. So I got a couple of days off.
Oh, okay. I know there's a lot of firing going on right now.
Hey.
Whole bunch of firing going on. Jimmy Kimmel got fired.
And then he back. You see his monologue last night?
Yeah.
Nah, I heard it was nasty.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. He I think he came correct.
He brought the fire.
Yep. What about you, Joe? Turn your mic on, Joe.
Yeah, everything good.
Okay. All right. Well, look, let me say something, man, before I'm gonna let you guys have it. I last weekend, which was Saturday, my day started at 5 o'clock in the morning. 0500. I was out to bed. Excuse me. Drove 2 hours up to Henderson, North Carolina. I had my 15-year-old grandson with me. Took him to breakfast. Met my sister and her husband in Henderson. We were headed to a family reunion on my mother's side down at Henderson Point. Before we went to the family reunion, we went to a cemetery where my mother's headstone has been placed. She was cremated, but we went to the cemetery where they had a headstone, and we just wanted to lay some ashes at that location. And while we were there, old church, my grandmother, which is my mother's mother, that she never met because my grandmother died a month after my mother was born. 1936. The tombstone where my grandmother remains were, it was handmade, and there was so much moss and stuff on it that, I mean, you couldn't even see it. It had leaned to one side. So I took a stick and I started brushing that off, and they had actually, I guess back in those days, everybody didn't have the kind of money to go out and buy a headstone, but everything was hand sketched in on that tombstone. So it had her date of birth and the day that she passed. Had some other markers around. Some of her relatives. Let's see, her grandmother, her grandfather. Um, some of those folks were there. Tombstones. So we left that location and we went to a cemetery where, on my father's side, my father's headstone, my grandfather, my great grandfather, and my didn't have my third. Let's see, my first great grandfather, which was a slave. His remains wasn't there, but anyway, he was born in 1822. He was a slave in plantation down in Warrenton, North Carolina. But that's where he was a slave, and I intend on visiting that particular place there. So we went down to Henderson Point, man. Joe, I don't know how far you live from there, um, and I don't know, man. That day, spent the whole day there. I drove back after meeting some of my mother's. Well, I guess they my kinfolk, but all on her side, people that I never met. Some of the guys there, they were walking around. Believe it or not, Joe, Waverly Person, Joe.
Waverly Person.
You remember him?
I know some persons. I
Big
know a bunch of persons.
tall brother, man. Thurston Hunter. That name sound familiar to you?
Yeah, I know Thurston Hunter.
Went to school with these guys. And I had no idea they were blood, on my mother's side. We all went to school together and had no idea that we, related. Because I met them there at the family union down at Henderson Point. But anyway, that day, man, it did something to me at the cemetery where my mother's remains, or the headstone was. They had some heads, just some rocks in the ground. My sister told me that those were markers for where they had buried slaves. And there was one area that was completely bare. And she said, there used to be a bunch of markers here, but what they had done was, in order to take care of the grounds, and I don't know who did that, but they pulled all of those markers up and tossed them in the woods on the backside of the cemetery. I mean, that's I guess it's how much respect they had. I don't know who did it, but they just pulled all of those markers up and just piled them up in a pile on the far end of the cemetery. But anyway, getting back to the family reunion down there, a bunch of people had never met. Some of them I had met in passing, I guess in school and around Henderson. And since I did that and posted a little video on Facebook, some of them had been kind of responding. And I drove back late that evening, got back home about 8 o'clock Saturday evening, and Sunday. I'm a football fan. I booted around all day Sunday, and I happened to turn the TV to a channel, and I said, "What in the hell is the Panthers doing playing on a Saturday?" I had no idea that Sunday had already come and gone, man. I just, I don't know. That trip did something to me where I just lost all track of time, and I'm trying to trying to get myself back together, because it was I mean, it was quite an experience to go back. I hadn't been to my father's grave. I think one time is when my grandfather passed. I had went to my father's grave, and that was the last time I had been there. And I mean, that's been a long time. But I just want to share that with you guys, man. I just found that trip there to be. It was strange, but it was peaceful, and like Bill had said one time before, that our ancestors still live within us, and I kind of felt that. I had never met my grandmother, my great grandfather, but I kind of felt that connection, Bill, that you have mentioned a few times in our sessions that we have. Our ancestors continue to live on in us. But
But Ed,
I just want to share that. Yes, sir, Mac.
you happen to know the name of the cemetery?
I don't, but I'll tell Martha to text you, well, to send you that information.
Okay. And I tell you what,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask a friend of mine if it's okay if I hook you two up.
Okay.
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 And he's done a lot of grave hunting, restoring
Mm-hmm.
around Warren County.
Okay.
And him and this other, she's a white lady, but she's into the restoration. There's a little
Okay.
group of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'll hook you up with them, and and mostly a lot of slave cemeteries and stuff like that. Okay,
Okay. Okay. All right.
uh, but
Yeah,
by all means, tell Martha to send me the name of that cemetery.
I'll do that. I will. Okay. All right.
Real
But
quick.
yeah.
Hey,
Go ahead,
Jesse,
Bobby. Yes, sir.
what you just said, right, is crazy because I just watched a movie last night with Jamie Foxx and Tommy Lee Jones
Mm-hmm.
called The Burial. And in a part of that movie, um, the gist of the movie was it was a lawyer in Florida. I can't remember his name, but Willie Green, I think his name was.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a real good black lawyer down there. And Tommy Lee Jones, of course, is a white guy, and he had a
Right.
funeral business, and this big corporation was trying to cheat him out of his, cheat him out of his business.
Mm-hmm.
And he got Jamie Foxx, Willie Green, to fight this case for him. But the gist of it is what you talked about with the headstones. There's a part in the movie where Jamie Foxx and Tommy Lee Jones go back, I want to say, to Florida, where Jamie Foxx, the character, was from, and they walk out into this big field, and an older gentleman tells them that, he said, "See that out there?" And he said, "Yeah, what is that?" And he said, "That's a graveyard. That's where they buried the slaves and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knows because there's no headstones or nothing."
Mm.
So it's crazy how things come about, and you brought that up, and I just watched that movie last night.
Yeah,
But if you guys want to see something good, that was a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it, Bobby.
You seen that?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a really good movie.
Mm.
With bringing people together.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
Just I didn't even know you were in town, man.
Yeah, Joe. I started to tell you, man, I was gonna be there, but I mean it was crazy, man. And it
my
was
I'm,
son
a
with,
saw it.
long day.
I'm within not walking distance, but uh, a short way from Henderson Point.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay. If I'd
I,
have known
I
that, man, I sure would have
yeah
let you know.
I live
But
on the wayside down here, and the same thing, the same feeling you got is when, see, we done our class reunion down at Bullockville Park,
mm-hmm.
and they have redid that park, and when you go in there, it just bring back so many memories, of back in the days, because everybody did there. We used to go swimming down there because there was no
Right.
public swimming pools,
That's right.
and we used to down at Boulevarde Park, where everybody used to go down there and get on top of the cars and drink a beer or two,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever. They had
That's what
baseball games going on,
I was getting ready to say that. With the
you
black
know.
baseball teams just come down
Yeah.
and play. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it was a fun time, and we went back down there and done our class reunion, and everybody enjoyed it. We had the
Mm-hmm.
class of 76 and 75.
Okay.
75 was your class, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I
That's
don't
right.
even know if you were contacted about that.
I was, man, but I can't remember why I didn't make it. I didn't make it. But
Yeah.
yeah. Yep. 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 Just had that class reunion. That's right. Mm-hmm. You live down the Hibernia Road, Joe? Isn't that where Wayside? Your mic is off.
I stay on 39 going to Virginia line.
So you passed the turnoff for Henderson Point.
Yeah, I passed that. I live on the wayside right there, like Townville. You heard of Townville?
I know Townville, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I stay right. You just like a skip, hop, and jump from Townville.
Okay. Well, you have to go through Townsville to get to Henderson Point, right at the end of Townsville.
Yeah.
I believe,
Hmm.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. You make that right to go down there, or you could go
Mhm.
another way and come
Yeah.
back around the other way.
Yeah.
Satellite Point is on the other side over there.
That's right.
All of that is down there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a beautiful lake, man.
It is.
I got my drone up, man. I couldn't believe how blue that water was.
Them guys
Mac,
doing some
Mac,
serious
did
fishing
you see that
down
little
there.
bit? Did you see that little bit of a video I put up, Mac? You know I'm
Yeah,
to catch my drone.
before they towed you out,
Yeah, they threw.
said to stop that drone where the sun don't shine.
Yeah, the park ranger. Well, I tried to sneak some video. Knew you can't fly a drone in the parks, but I said, well, I'm gonna go ahead and just keep it low. I just wanted to get like a panorama of the folks down there. And man, no sooner than I got that drone up, I don't think I had it up 10 minutes, man. That dude rolled up on me, man. You can't be flying a drone here. I said, hey man, I didn't know. I played dumb, so he went on about his business. But I got enough that I could use, for the folks that want to see something. Yeah. But anyway, that's what I had, man. What you got, Mac? What's on your mind,
And
man? Other than that, man.
hey, look, I'm trying to stay sane with these idiots, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm losing the battle. All right.
Yeah. Mac, I was feeling that way, man. I'll be honest with you, man. I was kind of feeling that kind of a way too until like I said, that little excursion that I went on, and then last night I won't say last night, but when I found out that some people are coming to the senses with this freedom of speech thing and not willing to just stand and let that happen. So that gives me a little bit of more encouragement, to not
Well,
be quiet.
the latest thing I heard today is they're gonna put that boy's face on a dollar coin or some garbage.
Yeah.
Man, I said, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
I done wrote every congressman, senator I got. I
Mhm.
just, I'm gonna have to get on again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, and to think that I don't know about in North Carolina, but in Massachusetts, all of them voted for that damn memorial that saved 2 representatives. Everybody else voted to approve it. What's wrong with you fools?
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy.
I mean, they might have enough people to approve it without your, but at least you owe me not to put your name on it.
Mm-hmm.
He just showed his true colors. We all know that he's a racist.
Mm-hmm.
We really do. I mean,
Yeah.
you can hold your words back all you want, but the guy is a racist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you can tell by his actions.
Yeah.
Not what he says, but his actions. That too, but his actions mostly.
Mm-hmm.
let you know who he is. And they always say if somebody tell you who they are, you need to listen. That's who they are.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm at the point now where I'm not surprised by anything that the president does. I'm just not surprised by anything he does.
Nope.
But I am still surprised by some of the actions and comments from other people. Okay. And nobody, I mean, it's just, I'm going to have to let it go. I guess I'm going to have to start find me a cabin in the woods somewhere with no TV, no radio. Get me a dog and just sit out there and talk to the dog.
Well, Kamala said we weren't going back, man. You talking about going back, man?
Hey, I don't know, man.
Look, I know I talked about the summer, how the summer was going to be, right? It's taking a little longer, but it's coming.
Yeah, it is.
It's coming.
It is. I believe you.
It's coming. Listen, sooner or later, the dam gonna break, cause it can't keep going and going and going, and people not reversing course or turning the corner or turning the leaf over or whatever, because he's not going to change. He's only going to get worse because he's dealing with some serious stuff going on, mentally, medically. His health is bad. His mental has been gone, and it's just coming to the point now where he going so far now that they're not going to be able to go with him.
Well,
and they're going.
Yeah, well, I guess a big concern of mine is once we get past this point, okay? Now, do you see that Pam Bundy is going to prosecute James Comey? Well, I got no love for James Comey, but still, I mean, come on, folks, give me a break. And once this is over, then I see the pendulum swing the other way, where they're gonna have to do something with the Pam Bundys and Marco Rubio's, and all these folks that were
everybody that was complicit with him and causing this to happen.
Yeah.
And listen, Pam Bondi, I don't care about. I mean, her just gonna come because she's got to deal with a whole nother set, because everything she's doing is against any code of the bar and lawyer. Everything she's doing is against that. So hers is coming. But that big head ass Stephen Miller, listen,
I think the Jews gonna get him.
That egghead some bitch right there, I can't wait for him to go to jail. Because listen, I want him to get hooked up with the biggest Jeffro up in there.
Yeah, he's the puppet master. He is the puppet master, man.
Hey, yeah, my name is Bubba. I'm here to introduce you to my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. You about to say something, Bill?
Oh, I was just listening and becoming present to what I observed happen in the last few days. Glendale, Arizona, what happened out there at that memorial reconfirmed something that my oldest brother and I had said, that if the overwhelming majority of white people weren't racist, we wouldn't have the problems that we have in the United States. And you saw all of those people filled up a stadium and overflow. And all that did was reconfirm with me that
in the name of Jesus.
Yeah, well, and the other thing was I heard the Alfred Street Baptist Church minister, Dr. Howard John Wesley, gave a sermon on that. And one of the things that he stressed is that you don't honor a person for how they died, but how
Yeah.
they lived.
That's right.
Yep.
And Roland Martin had on his, he had where black preachers had spoke out against uh, uh, Charlie Kirk. Now the thing about Charlie Kirk that really got me to the end was I saw a picture of him in Arizona. His casket was being carried by military people, Air Force folks. And I'm saying, what the hell did he ever do? He ain't been near the service.
Mm-mm.
Uh, they they there are a lot of people who served in the military that don't get that kind of honor.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And here's a person. The other thing that it brought out that Charlie Kirk said that got me present too is that when he gets on the airplane, if he sees a black pilot, he won't
Yes.
qualify.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
Well, you know, a couple of times when I was flying, that happened. I remember I was flying aeromedical evacuation down in and landed in Keesler. There was a little bit of problem out there, weather. And a white lady got on. I was instructor then in C9s. And I was letting the guy was trying to train to be an aircraft commander. I had him in the left seat, but the weather was a little rough. I let him go a little bit. I sent him to his limit. And I saw he was wiped out, so I was going to kick him out and I was going to take control of the airplane. And uh, she looked up there and saw me and asked, "Is he the pilot?" And they said, "Yes." She said, "Well, I can't fly. I can't fly with no black pilot."
Mm.
My response was, and they came and told me, "Sir, this lady says she can't fly with you because you're black." I said, "Well, get off the airplane. We got to make takeoff time."
Yeah. Hey, there it is.
And and
But
then the other thing was when I was flying C5s in the wintertime over the North Atlantic. And one of my load masters asked, could he bring, say, if you're in a calm period, you can let somebody come to the cockpit to see what you're doing. So this white lady in the Navy came up to the cockpit and saw that I was in command. She asked a question. She didn't think I heard her. Can he really fly? We're over the
Mm.
North Atlantic in the wintertime. And I couldn't control myself. I turned around and looked at her and said, "You better hope the hell I can fly. Get out of here." I
Yeah.
told that load master, don't ever bring nobody up to me like that.
Wow.
So when Kirk said that, I became very present to that. And
Mm.
I guess the reason I became very present was because as a military pilot, a person who went to military pilot training, I know it was death on a brother.
Mm.
It was death on a brother. I mean, when you have 16,000 pilots and only 270 are black, that ought to tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
When the washout rate was higher than it was for Iranian students,
That's systematic racism.
uh, I can remember when I was in 38s, I failed a check ride. And my flight commander, a dude who was a good dude named, he took me out. He looked at me, he said, "Bill, you think you don't belong here?" I said, "No, sir." He said, "But let me tell you something." He said, "You belong here more than the white boys." Because the test was designed to fail you. Before you ever came here, the test you took was designed to fail you.
Mm. Wow.
And he said, everything we did was designed to fail you.
Mm.
And me and that gentleman were very close until he retired, and he was always in my corner. White guy from Davenport, Iowa. But that's what he told me. Uh, I can remember, man, you talk about when I heard Charlie Kirk say that, I thought about going to fly a two-ship formation. And I was in 38. This is a white rocket. And I was solo. I was on the wing and I was solo. And this Air Force Academy graduate was describing his daughter. Uh, he took and bought her ice cream cone on the weekend. And she asked for chocolate. And she started eating that chocolate. And she had chocolate all over her face. And
Mm.
she looked just like a nigger.
Mm.
Mm.
That's what he said during the briefing. I ain't say nothing. I went out there. I was mad. I went out there, but the Almighty, sometimes people can't stop you. Because what happened was when we started, I had a burner blowout, so I had to abort. I couldn't go up on the mission with him.
Mm.
But I know that if I'd have gone up on that mission with him, they would have failed me.
Mm.
Mm.
Uh, uh, when when I was about to finish taking one of my last check rides before I got my wings, I went to take my check ride, and the flight examiner told me, he said, Lieutenant Jordan, he said, I don't know how you did it. He said, but they've tried to wash you out ever since the wing commander said you were going to graduate.
Wow.
Uh, and he said, you stuck in here. He said, so uh, you can do anything you want. You passed. And I went out and during the pre-flight, I left the gear pins in the gear. And normally, if you did that, you flunked. If they
Mm.
passed me, I could go get my record. I got about a 94 on the check ride. But
Mm.
he said that I'd been treated bad. And another brother behind me, when he graduated, he came, he was happy as hell. Bill, I graduated. They liked me. They said they were glad to graduate a black person who wasn't a militant.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm. Mm.
and that came
Sound like
about.
Tim Scott. Was it Tim Scott?
No, no, this was this was a brother I tried to help. I tried to make sure he finished.
That sound like a
We
Tim
were,
Scott.
and he and I were tight, but I knew the folks were mad because when I was in 37s and Martin Luther King got killed, every day this classmate of mine would come in, Jordan, when are your people gonna stop burning down our country?
Mm.
Now, I came from a family of 5 boys. All of us had served in the military. He's asking me that. So the third time he did it, I lost control. And I shouted to the top of my voice, I hope they burn this raggedy motherfucker down.
Mm.
Man, you could have heard a rat-lick lord there. They disappeared. I went up to fly. I failed. My IP, his kids used to come over and watch cartoons with Agnes and I on the weekend. He failed me. They thought I'd washed out, man, but I just, I don't know. I was blessed.
Mm.
Mm.
But I can tell you, after my experience, I did everything I could to make sure that every black who came in had a fair chance to graduate. Because I knew, I mean, I knew, man, white folks, when I made lieutenant colonel, he took my promotion.
Mm.
That's what the guy said to me. He took my promotion. They called down to Randolph to see if they'd made a mistake on the promotion list.
Wow.
And this and the guy had the nerve to come up to me. Bill, you got promoted. We thought it was a mistake. So
Mm.
we called down to Randolph. This happened at Dover. So when I hear Charlie Kirk make a statement like that, that makes me present to all of the racism that I faced and all the other black pilots that I knew faced uh, in the Air Force, and I didn't know nothing about the Navy or Army, but in the Air Force, I knew most of the brothers who were flying, and I know that they could tell similar stories like me.
Mm.
Uh, so to hear Charlie Kirk say something like that, that just told me, man, you are not racist. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that I wasn't flying commercial, because if I got on an airplane, you looked up there and say you were scared, and somebody pointed that out to me, I would say, well, get off the airplane.
There you go.
Well, you know what? I was thinking about that when you said that about Charlie Kirk, because ever since he was assassinated, I was thinking about, because you know they lowered the flag of the United States to half mast, and they don't only do that for dignitaries and different
Mhm.
people around the world that I don't
Mhm.
know, just military people and working in Congress and people like that. They only
Mhm.
do that for them. But this, I really think, and this is just my opinion, I just been feeling an eerie feeling when that guy got assassinated that this was all staged. I mean, I don't know what anybody else think about it, but the Epstein thing was hitting Donald Trump 24/7. He didn't, if somebody brought that name up, he was already orange. And when somebody asked him that question, he just flip out, man.
Mhm.
And I just thought that thing it just didn't look right. It didn't feel right, that somebody would just, you know, the person that did it had to be a professional assassin to take that kind of shot. I think it was 500-600 yards. I think it was. They
I
say
think they said less than 200, Joe.
200 yards.
Less
Yeah.
than
I think it
Yeah,
was more.
10 football field.
they say it's less than 200.
Well, somewhere around there. But anyway, to take that kind of shot and to get a hit that way they hit, that it was done, you have to be pretty good with that.
Well,
With a sniper or someone like that that's professional, that trains in that type of, the elevation, everything has to be perfect for you to get that shot.
well,
And it happened.
Joe, that in Butler, Pennsylvania, the bullet whizzed past Trump's ear, and they said that was God. He's the chosen one.
Mm.
And that was the same thing. That's the same thing. That seemed like
Well,
it was
maybe this,
set up too. It was staged.
yeah, well,
It
maybe
just
this
seemed
was,
that way.
yeah, well, maybe this was God's will
Hmm.
that it hit Charlie Kirk.
Mhm.
I mean, if
Right.
God acted for Trump to save Trump, maybe, and that's what one of the preachers said. One of the preachers said, uh, what did I just heard, if you live by the sword, you're gonna die by the sword.
Right? Somebody said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, I think the guy really wants to start a I ain't gonna say a race war,
Well, he can't. He
but
can't really start.
he wants to
Can't
start a war.
he can't start a race war because black people, we ain't got no fight. We ain't got no fighting. So
We got some fight, but we
no,
don't
no.
want to.
What I'm saying is, with this situation that's going on, it's not a fight for us. We've been fighting like this since this we were brought to this country. So it's not a thing where we're going out there to fight for something
We're
because we
not gonna do
fight
it.
what he's taken away. We've been fighting to try to get since we've been people.
Yeah.
And then going back to what the colonel said about this Charlie Kirk thing and the DEI thing, and that's just what they want to do with taking the history away because they want people like Charlie Kirk's words to be able to be strong, right, and not talk about World War II when the America would have got their ass whooped if it wasn't for the Tuskegee Airmen getting them planes to where they need to be with the supplies and all that. They really don't want to see that kind of a thing happen. They don't want you to talk about how Eleanor wanted to go up in the plane with the black man. They don't want to talk. They don't want that kind of stuff in the history book. So that people, when people like Charlie Kirk speak, it sounds like he knows what the hell he's talking about. And that's just why they do what they do. And it's
but look at
crazy.
his look at his audience though, Bob. His audience is young,
But and that's
white
and Joe, that's exactly what I'm
students
saying.
at the high school. They
And
they don't know the history.
that's exactly what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
when you take that stuff away and they don't know about it or they don't hear about it, then
Right.
people like Charlie Kirk come up and talk about a black man can't fly an airplane or a black woman can't be the president of the United States. That's all believable to them because I've never heard that. I've never seen that. Where has that ever happened before? So that makes everything that he said and give them a little justice. It sounds justifiable to somebody who don't know. And that's the whole thing. And that's the whole thing they want with this thing about taking books out of school. It's not about having something like the boys asked the Trump person about the Bible and the sex stuff that's in the Bible. And he asked him about it. And he said, well, hold on. So that book shouldn't, you should be burning that book too, throw it away or whatever. But they don't really want you to know what's really going on, and they want to take away the truth so that they can live their lives.
That's why I think that the Charlie Kirk thing, just my opinion again, was a stage show to cover up a lot of stuff that was going on with the Epstein files. The Epstein files, when all those daggone emails came out, the latest email said that J.P. Morgan, one of the biggest finance companies in the world, J.P. Morgan, was financing the Epstein files. Nobody wants to hear that. And also,
what do they finance?
The Duke of Earl from Great Britain, or the U.S. ambassador to Great Britain, was in the Epstein files and got fired. All of that was going on when
that was the Duke. That was the Duke you're talking about.
The Duke,
yeah.
The Duke. All of this stuff was going on, and they did not want those files to come out. And then when they came out, this came up, and it overshadowed all of that stuff.
Well, I don't think it overshadowed it.
They ain't talking about it, bro. What do you call it?
No, it's being talked about. It's just not in the news. The right people are talking about it, and that's the people like Jasmine Crockett who ain't letting it die.
No.
That's the people like Swalwell who ain't letting it die. That's the people like Bernie. They ain't letting it die. We just don't hear it because they're not putting it out there to us.
Well, I hear
We're
it.
not.
I see it all, bro.
Because CNN, CNN, MSNBC, they the same thing. They gonna suppress whatever they can suppress, right? They gonna put out there what's hot. They're not gonna put out there that underneath stuff, but it's out there.
Well, there's a lot to what I think that Bobby has said some very powerful things. I think that you have said some very powerful things, Joe. The thing that I would talk about is when we say that this is staged, this was put on by them to take pressure off of Epstein. Are we really setting up a premise where we can really understand why this person took action against Charlie Kirk? In front of the Capitol, up on Capitol Hill, they just put a bronze statue of Trump holding Epstein's hand, talking about best friends.
Yeah.
That was on the mall, man.
Yeah.
That was on the mall.
Yeah, it's up there. It's up there. So the real thing to me is Trump is trying to change things, but I don't think he'll get away with it.
Hey, Bill, you think somebody could actually get a statue out on the mall and they ain't no camera to pick them up, or they ain't nobody seen them. It just kind of comes up out of the ground. Hey, come on, man.
Listen, I'm not saying it can't happen, but I'm still trying to. Hey, I be trying to figure out how the hell they get up there and put this graffiti on the side of these damn highways in the middle of the night. I mean, it's just stuff that happens. Like you, I mean, I be like, somebody got to be nutty because I'm not hanging over the side of no daggone overpass to try to put some graffiti on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing it. And
Mm.
unless you got one of the whatever you call them, the basket joints, it ain't gonna happen on the whim. But it's crazy people that had the heart to do stuff like that. It ain't Bobby Jones, but it's people that'll do it, and it ain't me.
Yeah.
I got a problem going up on the roof. I'm not going up on nothing high.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Hey, Bobby, I got a problem going beyond the second step on the ladder. Okay.
I have to
I
agree.
might take four of them. I might take four of them, but I ain't going no higher than that.
I have to confess that at times I feel that I haven't met my responsibility speaking out about a lot of things that I know. And my wife jumps on me sometimes because she told me years ago I should have had a podcast. She
Mm-hmm.
jumps on me. Why didn't you call? Why didn't you call the senator, the congressman? You know him. And I don't do it really because I have very little faith. It, After a while, you get tired of. Well, you know, Bill, you really hit on something. But uh, I mean, just a few months ago, I had to confront Senator John Warner. I told him when he was last time he was running for senator, I had to ask him. I said, Senator Warner, how can police use tear gas against American citizens when the use of tear gas is outlawed in war? If you use tear gas in war, that's a war crime. But it
Mm-hmm.
ain't no crime to put tear gas on us. I said,
Mm,
it seems to be
mm.
this seems to be inconsistent. He looked me in the face when I first told him that. Oh yeah, Bill, that's a good point. 3 years later, he hadn't done nothing about it. And when I saw him, I brought it up again. Well, I'm gonna look into it. And I'm saying to myself, no, you ain't gonna look into it. You
Mm-hmm.
just said that to get me out of your face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Bill,
And
sometimes you have to do things for your own sanity. Okay. And sometimes you got to speak up for your sanity.
Mm.
And that bar moves for different people and moves at different times. I mean, you know, I don't know. You just sometimes something will hit you wrong, and you're gonna speak up and say something about it. And other times, for your own sanity, you just let it go because you don't think it's worth the aggravation, or whatever it is to take it on.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like the boy said about the cards. You got to know when to hold them.
Hmm.
You know what I
Oh,
mean? Know when to fold them.
that's right.
And that's in everything we do in everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know, I'm I'm teaching the kids this same thing. Like in life, it's a balance. Everything has a balance, and you gotta know how to deal with them balances, or teach yourself how to deal with those balances. Because everything is not to be. I mean, you can't shoot your gun every time somebody do something to you. Sometimes you gotta hold that bullet because you don't know when you're gonna need it.
Mm-hmm.
that's true. The other thought that goes through my mind is that My ancestors never stopped fighting. Our ancestors never stopped fighting.
Yeah,
And
you don't stop the fight.
they face greater odds than we're facing.
Greater, much greater.
Uh, uh,
But
and
you know, Bill, I think even our ancestors that sometime one or two of them would be reserved, and then some of the other ones would step up. So it was not all of them all the time. So and we're the same way, I guess. Is we can't be everybody can't be all out all the time.
Mm.
So you know, right now it just seems like it seems like we don't have the voices that we had in the '60s, okay, and into the '70s. But I think they're still there. It's just we don't hear them like we did then.
Mm. Mm.
And then a lot of times, Mac, that growing up in the South, like we are, or we have, a lot of our ancestors, my father, my mother, and all of them, they left the South and went north. My
Yep.
father went to New York. Most of And I come from a strong military family. Father, my uncle was a drill sergeant. My father was in Korean War. Most of my family members, my cousins, and all of us went through the military. And instead of them staying here and fighting these people in the South here, they all just relocated to to New York City and stuff like that. They came back later, and
Yeah.
it's still the same South. The
Yeah.
South is the
But they,
most racist.
they a big factor of them moving north was the job market.
Right,
A big
opportunity,
factor. Yeah.
opportunity. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why a lot
Uh,
of them left.
uh, and now it seems that the opportunities they're not no longer in the north or the south, but I guess the nepotism is big. So if you got a family with a lot of money, you got a job. If you got a family with no money, then you're gonna be flipping burgers at McDonald's. Okay?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's who you know a lot of times.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah,
so
it is.
Mm.
Bobby talked about a movie that he saw last night. I need to mention a movie that I saw last night on PBS about Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth. And
Mm.
that was really a moving movie, an inspirational movie for me because Reverend Shuttlesworth, he was a dynamo. And uh, one of the things that I became present to from what he was doing, and he was in the Southern Christian Leadership Conference also, was he talked about collaborate, but don't capitulate. Don't give up all your principles.
Yep.
If you believe, if you believe uh, that that something is wrong, speak out against it. Don't hold it back. Speak out against it. Uh, and I would recommend seeing that movie. It was on PBS, and I stumbled across it because I couldn't go to sleep because Agnes told me I had to get up at 7:30 because they were coming to put a new heat pump in my house.
Mm. Mm.
So so I couldn't sleep, and I watched this movie, and it was really moving to see what Fred Shuttleworth did and how he inspired others to move.
Mm-hmm.
And each of us that's on this podcast can be like Barbie, inspiring people. Be like Joe, inspiring people in the Boy Scouts. and we can inspire people wherever we run into, wherever we encounter.
Mm-hmm.
And if we do that, we can build a fighting team.
Yep. You know something? I know Ed used to listen to a guy named Joe Madison.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One of Joe Madison's famous sayings was, everybody can do something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, everybody can do something. And it just, that was his mantra.
Yeah. Yeah. Bobby Joe, y'all have heard of Joe Madison?
Yeah.
Okay. I be like you say you have. The first time I heard Joe Madison, I was coming out, I was stationed at Dover, and we were coming out of North Carolina. And I don't think they had, well, maybe they had XM radio at that time, but I know I didn't have it in my vehicle. And I believe it was about, I like to travel at night. You know, kids would be in, sleep and all of that. So, and plus the traffic was a little less. So it was in the wee hours of the morning, man. Probably about, I don't know, about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm heading back to Dover and got up around that Washington D.C. area, and on a FM channel, uh, I heard this guy, man, talking and cussing. You know, 'cause I like to cuss now. And I said, "Who is this dude, man?" But finally, we lost the signal, and um, and it was years after that, man, before I heard him again. I think that's probably when we got into the satellite radio that I found out he actually had a channel. But I'm trying to do this podcast thing, man. But I mean, every morning, man, hey, Joe Madison. If I didn't catch him in the morning, I had him on that what they call it, rewind or whatever the hell it was, man. I'm listening to Joe Madison, man. Yeah, he was a very inspiring dude, man, and he knew what he was talking about.
Yep.
And
Somebody call up there with some mess. Boy, Joe would set them up straight so fast. You
straighten them out.
you would miss it.
Yeah,
It happened so fast.
yeah.
Joe used to come on a lot of the talk shows.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Yep.
Yeah.
He used to appear on CNN until
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think he lit somebody up in the green room or something like that, and they stopped bringing him on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he liked you up, man. Yes, sir. Yeah. But he was an inspiration to me, man. Joe Madison. Um, uh, but I want to go ask Joe. Joe, I'm gonna step back that gunshot you was talking about. Joe, you Army man, right? You might turn your mic on.
Got you.
You you don't think you can make a 200-yard shot, Joe, with a scope? I mean, he had to have a scope now. He didn't do that with just a damn some iron sights.
I heard several different uh, locations.
I'm quite sure he had a scope, dog. I mean, 200
Well,
yards.
I'm sure he had a scope, yeah, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, just any old Tom, Dick, and Harry can't just make that shot.
Well, no, but if you a hunter, and
Yeah,
that's hunting
yeah,
area up in there.
yeah.
If you one of those guys that go out in the wintertime and hunting deer and all of that, and you have that equipment, guns around the house,
And he come from a
you can do it.
weapons family too.
Oh yeah, I can make that shot, Joe, with the proper equipment.
Somebody said it was 200 yards, but then I heard again it was farther than that.
Yeah, shit, Joe, I can make this shot at 500 yards, man. I mean, with a scope and all of
That's
that.
that's the reason I said that because
And zero it in at the house or wherever I'm doing my target practicing.
I heard
Yeah.
it was more than 200 yards.
Yeah,
200
I mean,
yards is just the length of the place that they were in.
mm-hmm.
That place that they were at, that's 200 yards right there.
Well,
And
he
you
was
talk
right there.
about, I mean,
I heard I heard this thing on the YouTube last night. They didn't show the killing, but you heard the crack,
Mm-hmm.
right? When he pulled that trigger, you heard the crack, and they showed this one guy, and he was like standing in front of, like not in front, but
Mm-hmm.
he was like in front,
Yeah.
and that joker was just like this, right? When he saw him get hit, he you could see that They were showing him because they were saying this dude gonna be messed up the rest of his life.
Oh,
and
he
that's the
messed up.
thing. And their point was, what do you think about these kids that are watching their classmates be killed and all of that? If you want to put this out there like that, and here this is a grown man, how do you think these kids are gonna feel the rest of their lives?
Yeah.
If that man felt like that as a grown man, and he'd never seen nothing like that, and he's shaking and trembling, what do you think these kids are doing? And y'all don't care. You don't care about the fact that these guns are still doing this to children daily. These kids are gonna be messed up, and now some of those kids might turn out to be him and go up and want to kill other people because they so messed up.
That's a very good point, Bobby. One of the things that I often ask people when I talk to them about that is, what do you expect in terms of violence? But most of the movies we see, Mack, Joe, and Justin and I grew up on cowboy pictures. All violence. The 6-shooter shoots 37 times.